this Dakota Live Virtual, we welcome the music director and the principal conductor from the South Dakota Symphony, Delta David Gier. Now, we're going to share some music in just a couple of moments, but David, why don't you bring us up to date with the schedule changes and how things have changed at the close of the season with the Symphony?
Well, not unlike most arts organizations, we had to cancel the rest of our season. So it's been quite the shift over the last couple of weeks in particular, coming out of triage mode now and reimagining how we can serve our community and states in the current situation and how to prepare to come back, hopefully strongly in the fall, to bring people back together again.
You're joining us from your home in Sioux Falls, but you've had a chance to stay in touch with many of the principal players and with the office staff, and you've got some plans where you are reaching out into the community virtually and giving players who need to play a chance to do that.
Well, it's what we do, and we're all feeling a little caged right now, like horses at the gate ready to run. So yes, with SDPB's help, we were able to come together until the last moment and content to share with people, which we're about. Now that's no longer possible. We knew it was coming, didn't know when it was going to happen, but here we are, and glad to have something to share. But now we're reimagining everything in terms of how can we begin to create online content when we're separated from each other.
You know, I had a chance to look at the sdsymphony.org site before we connected for a visit, and I know things have been updated as far as the schedule goes, but you're beginning to provide some links to some of that music and outreach, particularly the St. John's Passion that you've been working on that's so appropriate for this Lenten season.
Yes, it's a new podcast series, 4 parts. The first part just aired on In the Moment with Lori Walsh today, and it's an exploration of this masterwork of Bach, the Passion, written for Good Friday 300 years ago. And Mark Bertrand is my pastor of my church, and he and I are examining the work both musically and theologically.
So you can have a listen to that at the sdsymphony.org. Now, last week we had a chance to get together, kind of a unique setting. Some of the principal players were set up just outside the offices of the Symphony in the Washington Pavilion, and we've got a group together that played the D minor Quartet by Telemann. Set that up, and then we'll have a watch that performance.
So this is a unique quartet of instrumentalists. We have flute, cello, bassoon, and oboe. So that's all of our principal players. William Cedeño playing flute, Robert Erhard on cello, and I should mention that Robbie, after spending his first year with us as interim, has now been named officially principal cello of the South Dakota Symphony. We're absolutely thrilled about that. John Tomkins, our longtime principal bassoonist, and Jeffery Paul, our principal oboe. So it's a unique quartet. I should mention that since we just talked about Bach, that when Bach was appointed to his position at the St. Thomas Church in Leipzig, his primary competitor was Telemann. And Telemann got pushed out of the job, and if Telemann had the job, we wouldn't have the St. John Passion that we're producing for you now.
Well, let's take some time right now and close out this segment with music from the players from the South Dakota Symphony Orchestra and the D minor Quartet of Georg Philipp Telemann.